Okay, Freddie here. I'm up here in the area. I'm sitting down smoking me a cigarette and drinking me a cup of coffee. And for the past 5 minutes, I've been hearing knocks come from back there. So, not loud knocks, but they're off in the distance. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm going that way. Get up there so far, then I hit that open area. Then I can just follow it up and just zigzag back and forth across the ridge, all the way up to where, I don't know, I guess where I feel like it. But while I'm standing here, let me show y'all something. We don't know when this was done, but this is kind of interesting because humans didn't do it because this has been here too long. Yeah, right there, at least there, at least over there, across, over here, over there, across here like that. We don't know. But there are other structures back here too, which I'll be coming across sooner or later. Now over here's a good one. See that tree right there? I want y'all to look at something. See that tree right there? There's no root system on it, as you can see. Follow it down, and you'll see there's another tree. Let me back up here a little bit. There's a tree that goes over the base of it, as you can see. See? And it's holding it on. It's up in the fork of a tree, but there's no root system on it. So that's pretty interesting, you know. So that's basically how it goes right now. You get that in the picture here. Here we go. All right, so I'll talk to y'all a little bit. Okay, here's an interesting area. Look at this right here. I'm back in thickets. Okay. See how that goes right there? Let me get it around here. Look at this right here. Big tree. Piece of wood hanging up there. Okay. Another little tree bent over right there. Okay. There's another tree over there. It bent underneath here. Okay. And look at this one right here. What makes this so unique is it's not the way it's laying. It's this right here. Underneath there, it goes up here, sets on here, and here it is. Let me get on the back side, I'll show you that piece. H. There, check that out. It's pretty cool, huh? It's pretty cool. Now, continued walking. Remember, I'm just in here just gandering. You can see all the little breaks and bends. Got one right here. Comes up this way here. Goes up in that fork. This tree right here is pushed over to that. Okay? Not so unusual. But get over here. I'm on a trail right now. Get over here, and we start looking. Now, a little tree right there is usually straight up. So it's in between that tree and that tree. And it's straight up like these right here. But why is it holding down on that right there? And there's a fresh break right there. Interesting. You know, this is the kind of stuff that, I mean, hunters come up in here every year. They claim to get the biggest bucks and all that stuff, which necessarily is true. There's another trail right here. But they don't know what they're looking at. They see something, oh, that's probably nature or something like that. They don't realize that, like right there. They don't realize that's over one. They don't realize that we got squatches up in here, and people refuse to believe it because the reason is, well, we haven't seen any, so they don't exist. That's the only excuse they can come up with. Me personally, I've had them out in front of me, 5 feet in front of me. Day before yesterday, I had a small one, probably about 5 foot tall, stand behind the brush and look right dead at me, and his face was showing. Cool. You know, but like I said, I'm just looking. I'm checking everything out and what they're doing. They can get in some of the tightest damn places that you wouldn't believe. Alright, I'll be right back. Let me give y'all a little treat here. See this right here? This chunk right here. This right here is best material for getting fire started. So when you go out in the woods camping, it's kind of moist, but you can find them when it's dry. They're good for starting fires, and they smolder and they burn a lot. They burn hot. That way you can get it lit and throw wood on it and it'll start right up. But you only find them on oak trees. So it looks like there. People don't realize that. People don't realize this stuff is, nature's full of tricks. You just gotta know how to read them. You know, so I'm just pitting it along, singing my song on Saturday night. But yeah, you know, I'm just nonchalantly cruising. I'm checking out the scenery. And what I'm doing when I do this, I'm looking for signs. Now, day before yesterday, I was hot on their ass. Believe me, literally. Because I had them all around me. And I have a picture to prove it. A little one. I'd say he's about maybe human age, probably about 13, 14 years old. You know, but it's hard to tell. Plus I'm following their foot tracks right now on the ground. You can see right through here, right through there. You know, they're very slick, they're intelligent, and I really appreciate them because what they do is teach me. That's how you learn about the Sasquatch. You look, you watch, you listen, and you observe. That's the secret to learn about Sasquatch. I've been doing this for about 10 years now, and I'm just now starting to understand how they're doing stuff. People think I'm crazy, but in all reality, I know what I'm talking about. Let me show you something here. Broken limb right there. That little broken limb right there. It tells me that they've been through here in the last day or two. Alright. See something down here. It might be, it might not be. I don't know. It just all depends. Okay. This could be another indication. And it is. Indication that they've been through here. Daggone it. This right here. A big old pine limb. Now here's the kicker. Look up there. These trees are as healthy as a mule. And I just look for a tree that's been scarred. And that's the hard part. But you look for a tree that's scarred, you know they've been up that tree. So what I do is I do my calculations. I look at each tree in its vicinity and I look for scar marks. If I don't see any, so that tells me that high winds did it. Even though it does look like a squash did it, but it didn't. It's just all wind. There's another track right there. There's a big one right there. Here's where my foot is, right in front of my foot. There's a big one. I'm following the trail, see? This right here's the trail. And I'm following it right down through there. And what I'm doing is I'm tracking them, but I'm leisurely doing it because I don't want to spook them. Well, of course, then I can get spooked around me anyway. They know who I am and what I do, so I don't have to worry about that. And you just follow. Look for signs. Now, the day before yesterday, I was about 50 yards, 60 yards down that way. Down that side of that ridge right there. Okay? And I stayed on that side, so I'm working the upper half of it now. And I'll eventually run into them again. Nice clear trail that they use. Everything's nice, so I'll be right back.